Okay, guys. Louis at Defending Elvis live at 5. Well, it's actually not 5. It's 9:38 a.m. But so thanks for joining me. If you're watching this later, because obviously many of you are in America. You're all around the world: UK, Australia, Canada, everywhere. I'm so grateful that you guys join me every day. Um, I'm really happy that we've been getting more subscribers and all the rest of it. It is appreciated, guys. Anyone that has bought me a coffee, thank you so much. So we've been discussing Ginger Alden a lot. We've spent literally 3 days talking about Ginger. She even commented on our Facebook, Defending Elvis Presley Facebook. Elvis's last girlfriend knows who we are, is aware of Defending Elvis, is aware of me and Team Elvis. That's got to be a good thing, yeah? So who'd have thought it? Not much more than a year after we started doing Defending Elvis, we're being noticed by all the important people in the Elvis community, which I take pride in. Obviously, not always for good reasons. Depends what the topic is. Now, we've been discussing Ginger Alden a lot. Now, there are very strong views about Ginger Alden. Very strong views, good and bad. It's a very hot potato. Some people get quite passionate, get quite upset. Other people adore her and think they were a match made in heaven. So we discuss both points of views, and we try to be fair on both points of views. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. We can debate it. But the bottom line is, it's one of, if not the most hot topic I've had so far, which surprised me, bearing in mind that we've done a lot of very serious topics recently. So what I thought was this: it's a bit of yin and yang. So, both these ladies, Linda Thompson and Ginger Alden, there is a big reaction for both these people. There's a lot of strong opinions of Linda Thompson. Some people adore her, think she's brilliant. She was really good for Elvis, helped him get over Priscilla. Other people think that she betrayed him, trash talked him, said many things in her book that she shouldn't have said many things in interviews, like the Larry King interviews, that she just should have kept to herself, should have kept private. The chicken soup story upsets many people. So Linda Thompson, a very beautiful girl that met Elvis at just the right time to help him get over Priscilla. I don't care what anyone says, Elvis splitting up from Priscilla was very complicated, very difficult, very distressing for him. So yes, Elvis wanted to move on, had realised that there was a very dark side to Priscilla, but you can't change the fact that Priscilla was the mother of Elvis's child. You ain't changing that. So we are going to discuss Linda Thompson. So I thought the way I was going to do it, yes, beautiful girl.
It's not coming off.
Just pick it out. Get your nails and pick it out.
No, I've been trying to.
Yeah, it's a splinter, isn't it? You do it. You squeeze it till it sticks out a bit, and then you pull it. Yeah, don't push it in anymore. Squeeze it like that. You can do it.
My teacher told me. Something to do with.
Yeah, like see, it's coming out now. No, don't suck it. Squeeze it and then pull it out. It's all right. We're helping the kids, guys. It's only tiny. It's very, very tiny. Let's go. I wouldn't either because it'll be sore. Just pull it out. Squeeze it and pull it out. Do you want me to do it? Okay. But if you need me to do it, just tell me.
I can just suck it.
You can try sucking it if you want. But there we go. So we're talking about Linda Thompson. She's so sweet. So sweet. It's very, very tiny. It doesn't hurt, does it, Gav? A little bit, yeah? All right. Well, if you want me to pull it out, give me a shout. So let's just tell a few people that we're live. Okay, live. Where are we? So I tend to put it on my Facebook. I tend to put it on Defending Elvis that we're live. I tell a few of you guys, and bit by bit you come on. So the way I was going to do it, I thought I would play some interviews and then read some of the comments on the interviews. So let's just play a couple of short clips, a couple of shorts at first. Let's start with this one, yeah?
I guess. And then he died 8 months later, and I didn't see him for those 8 months. We spoke on the phone.
Just so you know, the music is a bit like interrupts with the audio, but have a closely listen, guys.
But I didn't see him, and he really had deteriorated a lot. Now here's a man who has everything in the world going for him. You know, he was the most gorgeous man, I think, physically, who ever lived. Spiritually, he was sound, he was good, he was solid. Emotionally, he had a few problems. You know, he was still a little boy, never had an opportunity to
So she says emotionally he had a few problems, you know, and then she says he was like a little boy. I have heard this said before. It's not one of my favourite things that people have said about Elvis. I think it belittles him. I don't think he'd like to be described as a little boy. But okay, let's keep going.
fully grow up. He had people doing things for him so much. But he let himself go.
And, you know, he let himself go. It's not as simple as that. You know, she says he let himself go, but, you know, we're talking about a very sick man. Yeah. So let me just tell a few people we're live. You know, we can't ignore the fact that Elvis was plagued with chronic illnesses through his life. And Elvis had to deal, you know, with the prescribed medications that the doctors were prescribing him, the pain, the discomfort. He couldn't sleep, he couldn't relax, he had a lack of energy. You know, they say that he had some kind of diabetes, they say he had liver problems. You know, it's not fair to just go, oh, he let himself go. He was sick, he was trying to get better, trying to fix himself. Maybe he would self-medicate, but the bottom line is Elvis wasn't well. Yeah, Elvis was Elvis. He had to deal with being Elvis. And as much as Elvis loved being Elvis, he also struggled with the pressures of fame, the pressures put on him by the people around him. So I'm just going to click a few things and we're just going to see how it unfolds. Okay, guys?
My youth or whatever, I'm a very adaptable person, and it just
Let's try a different one. Let's have a look. So I spent the morning, believe it or not, looking for ginger ale and stuff. I've stored a load of stuff here. And it's all disappeared, which is no surprise. Now, while we're listening, guys, let's just do it again. Lynn, they've all disappeared. Every video I stored has disappeared. Let's have a look. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Now, obviously, I have covered Linda Thompson many times. I'm a fan of Linda. I'm a fan, but I also am disappointed with some of the things she said. Let's just listen to this old short I did. And I love the way she ends this interview. She really does put the wording together in an honest way that is obviously coming straight from her heart. And I agree with every single word she says. And she has been such a loyal girlfriend to Elvis after he's passed, and for many decades after, has never said a bad word about Elvis. Linda Thompson is one of my favourite people that talks about Elvis Presley. And she's a beauty as well. She's a stunning girl. I completely see why Elvis liked her, and her personality is amazing. So this is one of my favourite interviews I've ever watched, talking about Elvis Presley. Thanks, everyone. So that's just an introduction, but I still stand by the fact that I like Linda, and that she speaks beautifully of Elvis. I still stand by that. She is one of my favorites. You know, if you go through Linda's interviews and just try and be fair, she most of the time speaks beautifully about him. But unfortunately, you do come across interviews where she says things about him that I just would have rather that she kept private. Things that I think Elvis would have found embarrassing. Things that sort of affect his dignity. Would Elvis have wanted her to say these things to the public around the world? Don't forget, you know, I keep saying it, guys. Of course, a lot of these people are doing this because they're paid very well. They want to be famous. They want to enhance their career. I know Linda did a bit of songwriting, acting, and many other things. She knew how to make her own money, make her own income. But I still think some things you just keep private. So what we're going to do is just going to keep going. Just play a few little clips. Let's just listen to this one.
What do you think of the new Elvis movie?
I haven't seen it, so you're asking the wrong person. I haven't seen it. I don't know that I will, because honestly, it's so deeply personal to me, the time that I spent with him and the intimacy that we shared. But, I think there are some misrepresentations of the truth that I've been told about that I think would be, quite honestly, I think I would be offended. And, I think it's a disservice to Elvis to not have allowed him in people's memories and in the media or whatever, to not have allowed him to live the last 4, 5, 6 years of his life. He didn't curl up in a ball and give up on life.
What do you think of the new Elvis movie?
See, I see the comment. I get that comment. She hasn't watched it. It's almost like she's protesting the film, saying a lot of the film she thinks is unfair to Elvis. I like that. There's a bit of defending here. But I will say this. I would have thought she'd watched it, so then she could critique it properly. So watch it, then critique it. Oh, well done, mate. So now, I do agree that the press, the tabloids, the magazines, the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they try to give the impression that Elvis in the last 5 years of his life was curled up in a ball as a drug addict, a fat, overweight man that was just dying, yeah? And that's so far from the truth. So I completely respect what she has just said in this. I'm just trying to message to you guys. Right, sorry, guys. I was just messaging a few of you guys to say we're live. Now, I know this is a hot topic. So what tends to happen, we talk about Linda, or it could have been Ginger Alden, couldn't it? And then you guys start doing your comments, and then we build up a sort of storyline of comments. This is what happened with Ginger Alden. We built up a storyline of comments where we started to understand the good and the bad, both sides of the argument. There will be both sides of the argument. There'll be the supporters of Linda, the people that are against Linda, but there'll also be the people that are on the fence. So morning to all of you. So we are learning together on this topic, guys. I don't think Linda was... Yeah, she was not in the film. Maybe she took offence to that. It's a good point. Austin Butler portrayal of Elvis is the best portrayal of Elvis I've ever seen. Well, I'm a big fan of Austin Butler. I think he's great. But come on, guys, let's be honest. He looks nothing like him. He can move, he can sing. Face is nothing like him. Even his voice, that's not Elvis's voice. Even the storyline in Baz Luhrmann's film isn't correct. It isn't correct. Remember, it shows all different bits. It shows all the shake rag stuff, Tupelo, Mississippi, the rise to fame from childhood, his musical influences. But then when it starts showing the parents, I don't like it. There's something not right about the way that Gladys and Vernon are portrayed. But Gladys is a drunk, Vernon is a weak man. And then you've got the comical way that they show off the Memphis Mafia. That doesn't work for me. The Priscilla character is just terrible. Terrible. Even when Elvis rises to fame and they go to the Vegas years, yeah, it shows how great Elvis was. But when they show his decline, I don't like that. Yeah. So it does give the impression that Priscilla was a victim. Poor Priscilla. What did she go through? So guys, I'm not going to be one here to sit here and say that that film was fantastic. But what I will say is this, is that, Maria, shut the door, please. What I will say is very simply that it did relaunch Elvis to a new audience. It did bring in new fans, like our Carolyn rediscovered Elvis through Baz Luhrmann's Elvis film. So it 100% did some good there. We know Lisa loved it. Yeah, we know Lisa Marie loved it. She had a very close friendship with Austin Butler. She obviously liked Austin. And again, another negative. I don't like the way that Baz Luhrmann kissed Priscilla's ass. I don't like it. There was too much importance placed on keeping Priscilla happy with Baz Luhrmann. So I don't like that. So, you know, I've got some strong views, guys, about the movie. It's good and bad. Good and bad. So let's just see what you guys have said. It definitely is not one of my favorite movies. So Mystic says, I agree with the storyline. Sorry, if I missed a comment, and go back a bit. I personally think Baz Luhrmann's Elvis film is overrated. I think some people think it's better than it was. Honestly, guys. I'm talking about Austin Butler's portrayal of Elvis, not the movie story as a whole. Yeah, but even Austin Butler, I love him. I love Austin Butler. Yeah, he's great. Brilliant actor. He's got a lovely personality. He really went out of his way to rehearse, and he really prepared for that role. You can tell that he gave it everything. He gave it 100%. He put his soul into it. He connected with Gracelands, with Priscilla, with Lisa, with Elvis. But he looks nothing like Elvis. He looks nothing like Elvis. So that, I struggle with that. And many of the things in the storyline aren't correct. So when I watch when I watch Austin Butler trying to, going through the different plots in the film, some parts of the Baz Luhrmann's film where Austin Butler is playing Elvis, I don't like. I find uncomfortable. Yeah. So this is my point. It's not about how much I like Austin Butler. It's about how true to Elvis was the film and the way Austin played him. But I also understand why Austin is so popular and so loved by many Elvis fans. That doesn't mean the film was right. So, we can agree to disagree on things. The more I watch Austin's film, the less I like it. The more I watch Baz Luhrmann's film, the less I like it. I mean, it's free on Netflix at the moment. We got Netflix. So I've watched it many, many, many times. So remember, when we disagree on stuff, please don't take it personally. I'm just sharing you my views as a fan. Yeah. Right. Okay. You could tell Priscilla had a hand in the film. Yeah. Karen, I agree with that. There was too much importance placed on pleasing Priscilla. Too much from Baz. And Baz made that same mistake with the Netflix thing. And hopefully he won't, but he may make the same mistake with this long lost footage. Right, Tino, turn it down, please. So by the time the film was in the works, Lisa and Linda had fallen out. Well, that's interesting. I'd like to know the ins and outs of that. But I personally think Linda should have been in the film because she, at the end of the day, she was with Elvis for 4 years. I know that Elvis saw other girls. I know that they were stronger in the first year, Linda and Elvis. But she was in his life. Even Ginger Alden should have been in the film. She was his last girlfriend. It seems to me that Priscilla made sure that there was no other girlfriends in that film. But you do see a glimpse of Mike Stone, don't you? So you love Baz Luhrmann. I'm okay, but Yeah, Baz Luhrmann's an interesting character. I do think there is a bit of he thinks he's Elvis, the way he dresses and pizzazz, but I think Elvis's legacy matters to Baz, but there are things in the Baz Luhrmann film that I would rather he had left out. Yeah, so I'm 50-50 with Baz Luhrmann. There's some parts of him that I like, some that I don't. Remember, I'm just a fan, no expert. I also don't think it was a great film. It was decent and worth the watch, but too many things were off. But truly, it put Elvis back out there to a new audience. Yeah, that's the best thing about that film, is that it relaunched Elvis to millions and millions of people. It was a massive success. Made an absolute fortune. I think Elvis would have liked a lot of it, but disliked some of it. Yeah. Even Priscilla, I think, has started to change her tune on that film, where she firstly was a massive supporter. She now sees it a bit differently, as she does with the Priscilla film with Sofia Coppola. She doesn't like the ending, does she? Linda said in an interview with Alana Nash promoting her book that she and Lisa were not close anymore, and said Lisa has problems. Okay. Right. So, we have to be careful how we discuss. I want to show both sides of the argument in this. Even though I like Linda, I also am very disappointed with many things she has said, but she does do a lot of good for Elvis because she does defend him. Now, I will say this, in the same way as I say with Elvis, we can't whitewash these people. Yeah, Elvis had problems. Lisa had problems. So the fact that you say that Linda said Lisa had problems, well, yes, she did. She's a human being. I don't take offense to that. Elvis had problems. Yeah, you get it. So we're gonna try and show a fair both sides of the coin argument, or even people that are indifferent that just want to sit on the shelf. Yeah, come on, guys. I love Lisa. Yeah, I defend her all day long, but she had a tough life. She struggled. She did have problems. I won't whitewash her. Yeah, she's a human being. We'll keep her as a human being. Yeah. So I'm going to show the good and the bad of Linda in these live streams. This is just the first one, guys. We're probably going to do about 5. So, but please do give me your comments and I'll read them out. It doesn't mean I'll agree with them, though. Yeah. Remember, I'm just a fan. I don't have to agree or disagree, whatever. We're just having a discussion. I should think anyone would have a problem with Linda's book. It was dreadful. If anyone thinks Linda is such a saint, it's beyond my comprehension. Well, India, who has said Linda is a saint? Who has said it, Linda is a saint? Not one person has said it. She will have her fans, but I'm sure they know the negative things that she has said. The ginger should have been in the film. I just think the film should have been more honest, just real to Elvis's life, and included people like Linda and Ginger. It's just maybe even other people, even other ex-girlfriends. Karen, that would take the limelight away from Presley. Yeah, I see your point, Emily, because Baz was trying to keep Priscilla happy. I do think Baz Luhrmann felt that he had to keep Priscilla happy. I do think he felt that keeping Priscilla Presley happy helped guarantee the success of the film. Obviously, no one knew how successful the film was going to be. So I think he felt he needed to get Priscilla on side, obviously Lisa, which she did. Yeah, Lisa loved that. No matter what I say, Lisa loved that film. Loved it. It brought her a lot of happiness and joy before she passed. No matter, so, but that doesn't mean that the film was correct. Lisa, let's have a look. Lisa had problems the day Elvis died. Her world had to turn around for the worse. Hi, Pat, how are you? She did have problems. Lisa, we all do. Mentioning drugs and Lisa and a 9-year-old. Lisa calling her a liar in Lisa's book. Yeah, so we know about the comment. Actually, if someone tells me the page, I'll read it out. Where is it? Obviously, let me just get it a minute. if someone gives me anything in these two books that they want me to read out, I will. Anything concerning Ginger or Linda. Yeah? Just give me the page numbers, guys. And we're going to do it. I want both sides of the argument in these live streams. My views on Linda have changed recently. She has said many things I wish she didn't say. She did put many things in a book that I don't like. They're Mystic Werewolf. I agree. And Margaret should have been should have been put in that film. There is sort of, there is a glimpse of Anne Margaret, isn't there? But right, the Memphis Mafia and a lot of fans make Linda out to be a saint. Yes, hi Missy70. Are you new to our channel? I agree. The Memphis Mafia really liked Linda. I think Billy Smith really liked her. Yeah, after my life, mate. So the thing is, she was very, very popular. Linda was very popular with the Memphis Mafia. So when Ginger came along, there was a problem. Yeah, I can tell that Ginger wasn't liked by the Memphis Mafia. She was a newbie. I know that Billy Smith clearly didn't like Ginger. So yes, Linda was the more popular one. Linda, don't forget, she would mix with the Memphis Mafia. When Elvis was upstairs, she would come down and mix with the boys, with the guys. A stunning, beautiful woman as well. Yeah. So I can see that the guys like being around her. A funny woman. Okay, let's have a look. So I've read Linda's book a few times. She does go into some things that didn't need to be said. I do like Linda, though. She's made some mistakes. Yeah, I agree with that. She got... Right, let's have a look. Yeah, agree, Louis. Rebecca Smith, are you a new name? Sorry. Are you a new name or one of our old people? Welcome to Team Elvis. Where are you? What country are you in? And welcome. Should have never been involved in the film. Well, I don't think that was going to happen, Pat. I remember Baz Luhrmann wanted that film to do well. He felt he needed her. So I actually don't agree that she shouldn't have been involved because he was married to her. I do think that topic needed to be addressed. How they met, what happened during the marriage, the good and the bad. So I do think Priscilla was an important character. Now, if you mean Priscilla, the ex-wife, I mean, Baz was very much his own man, wasn't he? So I do think that Priscilla probably tried to get more involved than was wanted. So I've heard that Baz actually gave her the idea of doing a Priscilla film. I've heard that Priscilla was trying to change things in the film. And Baz said, listen, if you want a film about you, go and do a Priscilla film. This film's about Elvis. That it was partly his idea. This is just alleged, guys. And that gave her the idea to do the Priscilla film, which is why she then approached Sofia Coppola with, I think Barry Siegel was involved in this negotiations with this Priscilla film with Sofia Coppola. Barry Siegel is the guy that ripped off Lisa Marie, but Priscilla secretly was still friends with Barry Siegel. Allegedly, just an opinion, guys. So let's have a look. Getting permission and green light from ex-wife that cheated on Elvis is insane. Well, permission for what? Permission? I don't think he got her permission, but I think he was determined to get her approval, if that's what you mean. I think that, yeah. I sent it on Facebook to you on Ginger's Facebook post. Heavenly sent me what? So obviously Heavenly has sent me a few things, yeah? And thank you for that. Heavenly's got a brilliant YouTube channel, by the way, guys. Karen, in my opinion, Linda was over-dramatized many issues, but in her entire book, she makes herself a hero. Okay, fair enough. I'm new. I've been checking out a lot of Elvis channels and came across yours. Well, welcome, Missy. Do you want us to call you by name? What country are you in? We're called Team Elvis. We come together. We debate many Elvis topics. It gets pretty dramatic here. You know, we do like to argue things out a bit and thrash things out a bit. We're just fans, so our opinions are only opinions. We're only fans. We're not researchers. We do have researchers that give us information, but we are fans. So we are not right about everything, and we learn as we go. We learn as we go. I'm learning all the time. I'm no expert. Yeah, okay, I nearly finished, mate. Right, even talking about her exes, she makes herself a hero. Okay. Linda is the one of her first interview said that Elvis was in good shape when she left. How come the way she writes in her book now has changed? That's a good point, Rebecca. Right, it's a good point, Rebecca. Tina, just go and help yourself. It's a good point, Rebecca. Just because Lisa had problems doesn't mean it had to impact Linda's life that she broke away. Just explain that a bit more, Linda. Yeah, it's okay. You can have stuff. Fine. All right, give one to Yasmin as well. Explain that a little bit. Just because Lisa had problems doesn't mean it had to impact Linda's life that she broke away. I'm trying to... So, Linda, are you trying to say... Help yourself, yes? Are you trying to say... I'm trying to understand that comment. Are you trying to say that when Linda was living with Elvis, that was part of the reason she broke away? I'm confused by that comment, because obviously Elvis was part of the reason why they split up as well. It wasn't just because of Linda. Yeah? Obviously, we know Linda's version of it is she couldn't take anymore. She didn't want to be she felt like his nurse. She didn't want to see him die, things like that. Many other things as well. Leave it in the comments. Just explain it a bit more. I wouldn't call what Linda described in her book as good shape. Yeah, I know that it was... Well, no, there's a lot of good stuff in this book as well as bad stuff. Obviously, the first half of the book discusses Elvis. No, there are some nice stuff in there. I've read a lot of these chapters. There are some very beautiful chapters. But then you've got the trashy stuff. Yeah? So, Tina, turn it down, please. Linda didn't start going to Elvis Week until after Lisa passed. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I didn't know that, Linda. Linda says that to make Ginger look bad, Linda wants to be the saint who saved his life, while Ginger is to blame for his death. Yeah, I get that. I do get a sense of that. Yeah. After me, and I've seen the interviews. I agree. Missy, she does. Australia, Louis, haven't been on for a while. Oh, yeah, I thought I recognised the name, Rebecca Smith. So welcome, Rebecca, welcome. So Emily is in Australia, yay. Let's have a look. Tina, it's too loud, come on. Right, let's have a look. Blooming kids on their phones. Linda did not leave. She was forced to because Elvis found Ginger and she finally couldn't handle it. Thank you. Missy, give us more information. We're learning. The more you tell us, the better. Same goes for Linda. Give us some more facts so I can read them out. Baz should do a movie on Lisa and have Riley involved. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Pat. Heavenly, it doesn't work, so perhaps you can tell me the name of, right? Hey, Rebecca. Right. Okay. Shall I, please put lots of comments so I can read out, guys, because I am learning, we are learning. Good and bad. Good and bad, guys. I want to hear both sides of the argument. I'm not going to take sides. If Linda has made mistakes, I want to say them. I also want to say the good things as well, okay? Right, so we're just going to play a couple of clips and see what happens. I'm just going to randomly click on things.
Did you kiss him then the first day?
I might have.
You might have. I don't think any of us blame you for that.
We might have made out a little bit after I found out he wasn't married. Yeah, we did. You know, we sat there and we talked and we interrupted everybody else's movie watching, and we talked and we kissed and we talked some more and we kissed some more, and I, you know, he said, well, you know, I want to see you. Can I get your number? And I was still trying to play it coy, I think, with beard burn. Not too coy.
Yeah, stubbly.
Yeah, well, you know.
That's cool.
After a couple of hours, there were two features. Neither of us ever remembered what was playing because we didn't pay attention.
Come on, let's face it, guys, when Linda met Elvis, she was looking stunning, and Elvis was looking stunning as well. Yeah, Elvis, you know, come on, was it 71? 72, sorry, 72. Yeah. I don't know the exact date. Do any of you know the exact dates? Right, I want to try and find a bit of a proper interview. Right, let's just have a little listen to this. I want to get it past. Right, hang on a minute. I want the bit where Linda is. Okay, here we go. Go.
Going to do maybe move to New York, maybe
your
start
girlfriend.
modeling. Yes,
And?
I had some contact with the Stewart agency back then, so I was doing some modeling locally, and we thought about maybe going to New York, but then Elvis came along and swept me off my feet.
Why swept you? What happened in the ensuing
Well,
days?
Interestingly enough, I disappeared for 2 weeks. I went on vacation with my aunt and uncle to Gulf Shores, Alabama. And
Did you tell him you were going?
I told him I was going, but it didn't quite register. And I didn't leave him a forwarding number, and so I literally disappeared for 2 weeks after having met him those 2 nights in Memphis and having connected, you know, as intensely as we did. I left his house, I left Graceland and said, I'm going on vacation, I'll be back, and hopefully I'll see you again. And when I returned 2 weeks later, and, you know, I agonized when I was away.
Did you think of him a lot?
Oh, all the time. And I played his music, and, you know, I was saying, Aunt Betty, do you think he'll call? And maybe he'll forget about me.
Why didn't you try to call him?
I don't think I even had the number. I mean, it was like, you know, I would have never asked him for his number, and he had.
So let me just read a couple more comments. I want to involve you in this process, guys, because I know that things are very, you know, people are very passionate on their views with Linda. So it says here, Linda did not leave. She was forced to because Elvis found Ginger and she finally couldn't hang on anymore. I think that's important. I know I've already read that, but so Missy says Linda was calling Elvis to pay her rent while he was with Ginger. Pretty much sums that up. So yeah, I have heard that Elvis was still paying for things even after they split up. Yeah, for Linda. Yeah, I've heard that. So Linda said she's explained. Let me see if I can find it. No, I'm in promoting her, but Linda said they're not close because Lisa had problems. I think it was an excuse, but it was the book. Okay. Let's have a look. So Orion, hi Orion. Hi all. I was very disappointed in the film for many reasons. They hyped it up too much, and the film was lacking in depth of the main characters. I just do not care for Baz's style of direction. Yeah, I'm with you a bit on that, Orion. I'm 50-50. I'm not one of these people that is a massive fan of Baz. I'm not. I'm like, But, you know, obviously, when this long lost footage comes out, we're gonna love it, aren't we? So. But Dan, so Dan commented, let me just read Dan's comment. Once Priscilla was out from EPE, also the reason Linda was then invited by EPE, obviously Priscilla never wanted her there. Fair comment. Dan, if that it, then why isn't Ginger or Joyce Bover there? Linda wasn't kind to more famous than the other woman. So, you know, the people that are invited to Graceland, won't that be Elvis Presley Enterprises as well in that mix that's making those decisions? Who gets invited to Elvis Week? I mean, I know there's been upset with many different people that have been invited to Elvis Week. A lot of disappointment, isn't there? So they make mistakes. Haven't they even apologized for inviting the wrong people a few times? EPE? I don't know. You tell me, guys. Yeah, this thing where Elvis only stayed with women for 4 years. I know I've heard it so many times, Pat. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's just another fable in my, no offense, Pat. I just think Elvis stayed with a woman until he moved on or until they moved on. Yeah, I think there was no time to it. There was no limit of time. So I don't believe this 4 years stuff. That's just my opinion. Yeah, you don't have to agree with me. Yeah. So Linda, that's up to Elvis Presley Enterprise. Maybe they don't want them. I don't know. Linda is more well known. So guys, I'm not anti-Linda. Yeah. I don't see any problem with why Linda can't be at Elvis Week. Seriously, what's wrong with Linda being at Elvis Week? She spent some years with him. She definitely knew him very well. She definitely can talk about things between her and Elvis that the world would like to know. Yeah. She also speaks beautifully of him and defends him. Yeah. So yes, she also has said things that are wrong as well, that she should have kept to herself. But what is the problem with Linda being at Elvis Week? I don't see the problem. Same goes for Ginger. What is the problem? The person I'm more upset with would be Priscilla. Priscilla's the one I would hate to see at Elvis Week because she has trashed Elvis so badly. She has treated Lisa so badly. And now Riley, the way she, contested her daughter's wishes after Lisa died, it's disgusting. So I would, if I had a choice of who shouldn't be at Elvis Week, it would be Priscilla. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, Pat, that's a different topic, but I will say this. I've always said this. Obviously, Elvis spending was a real problem, but Priscilla took a lot of his money. People say, why did Elvis run out of money? Priscilla was a big part of the reason. Remember, the second divorce settlement completely hammered him, drained him of money. Yeah. So my answer to Pat is Priscilla took a lot of it. Yeah. But obviously we all know Elvis was a big spender. Yeah. The guy helped Linda. So Dan says the guy helped Linda with her song, right? And wonder if that's why she had a thing with him. Yeah. So we're talking about the guy she was seeing in the band. Is that right? But she was a good songwriter. Linda was a good songwriter. She was. And she could sing a little bit as well. That lie she tells how Elvis wanted to marry her at the end, but she said no. Funny, Ginger got the engagement ring, but Linda got her walking papers. Yeah. So, okay. Very interesting. Thank you. Yeah. So Linda and David Briggs had an affair. And I've heard this many, many times. Do we know it for definite? Is it 100% definite? Can we prove it? But yes, I've heard it many, many times. Heavenly, I don't understand. You've written inviting. I'm not sure what you mean. Okay. Elvis was introducing other women in front of her. I think he was done with her. Yeah. I don't doubt it. Elvis was moving on, wasn't he? But obviously Linda was in the process as well of what was going on in her life. So who knows the real true ins and outs of why they drifted apart. Elvis moved on. She moved on. Who really knows the truth? Yeah, we love Heavenly's channel. She's got a lovely channel. Please subscribe to her. I think Linda at Elvis Week is okay. spotlight on Priscilla is way too long. Yeah, thanks, Rebecca. That's how I feel. The problem with her being at Elvis Week is that she makes it about herself, not Elvis. I don't agree with that. I've watched a lot of interviews with Linda, and she makes it about her and Elvis. And when you say makes it about herself, well, she's the star, isn't she? At Elvis Week, for example, she's telling us her version of events from her memories. Remember what I said, her version, because we don't know what's completely correct and true. And she's discussing her relationship with Elvis, her opinions of Elvis, her opinions of things that went on around Elvis concerning, Memphis Mafia, the Smiths, things like that. She's a fan of the Memphis Mafia. I've heard Linda defending the Memphis Mafia many times. Yeah. So I think it's interesting. I'd like to see Linda and Ginger Oldham. I wouldn't want to see Priscilla. I wouldn't be interested in seeing Priscilla, but I would be interested in seeing Ginger and Linda. Get it? So Karen says, I don't have a problem with Linda being at Elvis Week. Yeah, nor do I. Yeah. I have a new perspective. Don't forget, you've got the film on YouTube, Elvis and the Beauty Queen, which is based on Linda's relationship with Elvis. I like it. I know that the guy who plays Elvis is terrible. Is it Don Johnson? But I still like it. It's worth watching. The quality is very poor. It's completely free on YouTube. Elvis and the Beauty Queen on YouTube. Go and watch it, guys. Why not? I actually quite like the girl that plays Linda Thompson. I think she's pretty good. So I find that film very interesting. I have a new perspective on Elvis gift giving. I've got a lot of information on how he was played by their own words. Linda, send me short versions of it and I'll read it out. Linda, yeah? Send me the stuff. I'll read it out. Let's let the fans have their say. Yeah? Karen, Linda largely speaks well, was with him for a significant period that I think she exaggerates. Okay, there we are. I go along with that. Yeah, she does speak well of Elvis. She exaggerates some things. I can see that. I agree Elvis was moving on. This is Karen. I agree Elvis was moving on, but I also think Linda as well. Yes. I see that. Thanks, Karen. Elvis had a terrible spending habit and it did him much harm, but I understand why. Come on, we know Elvis loved giving. Elvis, a massive part of the way Elvis got joy was through giving, how it made him feel. And he was just a nice guy that didn't want to hoard his money to himself. Sharing is caring with Elvis. He extremely generous from the moment he had money. That's how Elvis was. Right from the 50s, he gave to everyone, anybody, especially family members. So yeah, just the way he was wired. Karen, no way would I see Priscilla only, maybe to shout. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't hate Priscilla, but I have got strong feelings about the way that she treated Elvis and Lisa. And eventually Riley Finley Harper. So I wouldn't want to see Priscilla. I wouldn't. But I'd happily see Linda. And I'd happily see Ginger. Yeah. Ginger's in England in June, isn't she? Yeah. The only star at Elvis Week that should be Elvis, nobody else. It's fine if they want to turn up. They need to be respectful. Something a lot of them are lacking. I've never been to Elvis Week. You tell me, India, are some of these people not respectful? I would have thought, just as an outsider in England, that when these people are at Elvis Week, that they are respectful and friendly and kind and tell beautiful stories. I would have thought. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like Priscilla, her affairs was humiliating. Right. Like Priscilla, her affair was humiliating. Hang on a minute, because don't forget Elvis was seeing other people as well. So I want to be fair, yeah. Right, with someone he knew and respected. I understand that. The fact that it was a band member. I get that. I agree with that. But we have to think about the timing and what Elvis was up to. Linda clearly says in her interviews, even way back with Larry King, she knew Elvis was seeing other people. She knew he was unfaithful after the first year. So we have to give a broad view of it. Linda was gorgeous. She could have had anyone like the Memphis Mafia. Why not leave Perks? Yeah, so I do agree that when an ex-girlfriend goes with a friend, it's wrong. Even me, if I had a girlfriend and she went with my mate, my friend, I wouldn't like it. So from that point of view, yes. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, we love Anne Margaret. I will do, starting with Marty's book, notes not yet done. Thank you. Anything sent to me, I've had a few researchers sending me stuff. Yes, my lovely boy. Not today, mate. Right, I don't care. She could have left. She was spending his money. So, Linda, this is what I say to you. Do what you want. I want to keep it unbiased. Unbiased. Now, it's up to you if you want to be biased. I want to try and keep this review that we hear both sides of the argument. Let's see Elvis's side of the story. Let's see Linda's side of the story. Let's just debate it and discuss it. Because I think as soon as we come across as being biased, that the views are tainted. Does that make sense? If we are unbiased, then we are almost forced to see both sides of the coin. So, Linda, you're clearly biased. And I don't mean that as an offence. I don't mean you to take offence with that. I mean, is it possible for Linda to give us her views without being against Linda, without being biased? Is that possible, Linda? And I mean that with respect, okay? Priscilla has said or done some of the things Linda has, and there would be outrage. So why is it acceptable with Linda? It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. But remember, we've done thousands of videos concerning Priscilla and her wrongdoing to Elvis. I don't know how well you know our channel. We have exposed Priscilla again and again and again and again and again and again. Loads of things. Too long to mention in this live stream. So the answer is it's not. Love Anne Margaret. Teresa, we know. Anne Margaret would never touch Elvis's money if they were together. I agree with that. That we are going to have an Anne Margaret day. It's going to come. But at the moment, we're doing Linda. So I want to keep this show to an hour. We've got a few minutes left. So let's play a bit more of this.
So the girls don't do that.
We don't do that. So the moment I walked into my Aunt Betty's house, he was calling on the phone. It was Joe Esposito, actually. And he said, I've memorized your number. We've looked high and low. You know, we've looked everywhere for you. Where have you been? Elvis wants you here tomorrow. I had just arrived in the evening, and
he had to have a guy call to say this?
Joe Esposito. No, Joe said, you know, he wants to
there.
talk to you right away. And so he said, you know, you don't just disappear from my life. Who do you think I am? And
did he get on the phone?
oh, yeah. And he said, you know, I've been looking for you, and I've been desperate for you. I want you to be here tomorrow. I'm going to Las Vegas.
So obviously, you know, there's views on that. She says, oh, I've been looking for you. I've been desperate for you. I don't think Elvis was desperate for Linda. So like Missy just said, she exaggerates. So it does sound, it was in the movie as well that she disappeared on holiday for a few weeks. So I'm guessing that is true. So let's keep going.
And this was in August. And I said, well, I don't know if I can pull it together in time. I just got back from vacation. And he said, don't, just bring a toothbrush, or don't even worry.
He invited you to go to Vegas with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Teresa says she would love to see Anne Margaret at Elvis Week. Yes, definitely. That would be amazing. Even though I'm in England, so I ain't going to be able to go. But, yeah, I don't take offense. I'm saying that she knew he was cheating. Saying Elvis was cheating also doesn't make it right. Shirley, do you said credit cards were guilt cards. Yeah, so obviously we know that Linda did spend a lot of Elvis's money, and this gets brought up, yeah, and obviously another thing people keep talking about is all the pictures that were taken of her, even at the hospital. I want everyone to tell me all the negative stuff so I can read it out, but I also want people to tell me the positive stuff. So Elvis was cheating doesn't make it right. That's not really my point. My point is that they were both up to no good. Both of them. I'm not trying to make it right. Elvis made mistakes. Linda made mistakes. Remember, unbiased. I love Elvis, but I know he was a human. He liked the ladies. So Linda would have had to take what was happening to her with Elvis's lifestyle in the same way as Priscilla did. I won't whitewash things with Priscilla. In the 60s, I mean, you know me, I'm the first person that wants to expose Priscilla. But when she first moves over to America and moves in with Graceland, even if it's with Vernon and Dee, and after that, Elvis was clearly seeing other people. So we can't whitewash this. That would have been difficult for Priscilla. Now, I'm no fan of Priscilla. She must have gone through a tough time. Many of you will say, oh, she knew what she was getting into. I agree. But it still must have been tough. Same goes for Linda. If Elvis is seeing other people, there has to be some kind of, I don't know the right word. They were both at fault. That is my point. If anything, I would say Elvis was probably up to no good more than Linda. But I'm an Elvis fan. You get it? So we have to be honest, guys. I seriously doubt Anne Margaret would ever do Elvis. Oh, I don't know about that. I think she would. Ryan, I think she would. Don't forget, recently Anne Margaret has done a thing, hasn't she? It's been on YouTube. Go and have a look. Anne Margaret recently was at an event. I think it was a Comic-Con event, I think. So I think she would. I think she would. There's a huge difference between Elvis being generous and Linda, everyone else taking advantage of it. Vernon calling her a gold digger. Well, Missy, I'll be straight with you. They all took advantage. We've done a lot of research. They all took advantage. Elvis was very, very generous. I'm on about the later girlfriends. Yeah, I'm on about in the 70s. Yeah. Come on. Elvis, you couldn't stop Elvis being generous. You couldn't say no to Elvis. If Elvis was going to buy you a car or motorbike or give you a credit card or buy you clothes or jewelry, guns, you name it, he was going to get at you whether you liked it or not. And this also happened with Ginger. Yeah. So I don't think it's fair to say that Elvis being extremely generous should be held against these people. But I will say this. Some of these people, like Linda and Ginger, made the most of it. Because don't forget, Elvis wasn't just generous to the girlfriends. He was generous to their families as well. And their friends, even brothers and sisters. You get it? So you were never going to stop Elvis being extremely generous to his girlfriends. You were never going to stop that. Yeah? There was no saying no to Elvis. Yeah? I also feel that if he was as sick as she said, why would anyone spend his money like that? To me, it's taken advantage. She wasn't the only one taking advantage. Well, I think I've just answered that point. Orion says they were all gold diggers. Fair enough. But they didn't have a choice. Elvis was going to give them everything. Come on, Elvis was Elvis. The most generous man that's ever lived. Remember, it made him feel good. Did you see the similarities between Priscilla and Linda? There's a few, but there's no comparison. Priscilla was much worse. Just an opinion, guys. Elvis and Anne Margaret, they missed their cross path each other. They were more suited. Only thing said that their careers clashed. Thanks, Luann. Thank you. I understand that Anne Margaret was a very ambitious, very talented lady. Yeah. So, Teresa, everyone used and abused Elvis and backstabbed him. It does seem that way, doesn't it? Especially we've been doing this topic with the Smiths and Lamar fight Marty Lacquer lately. It does seem that way. It does. Missy, what are your views on the Smiths? Have you been watching our topics? Because we've been discussing Marty Lacquer, Lamar Fike, the Smiths. We've also been discussing Red West, Sunny West, Dave Hebler. Do you think the Smiths said things about Elvis they should not have said? Have you, Missy, have you read this book? And the disgusting things in this book that the Smiths said? What are your views? Because I know that many people don't want to go against the Smiths. But the truth is they did betray him. They did. And so did Marty Lacquer and Lamar Fike. So, strong opinions, guys. But anyway, let's keep going. His generosity isn't the problem. It's the woman that those guys taking advantage of it. They used him for his money. And that's the point. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not. But remember, Elvis was very good looking. Very sexy. So they weren't there just for the money. They were there because he was hot and sexy and amazingly talented, beautiful and funny and kind and loving. It wasn't just the money. I actually think it's an insult to Elvis to say that any woman only was with him for gifts, for money. That's just an insult to Elvis. Prissy wouldn't have her Elvis half as much, only that Pris has Lisa. Prissy wouldn't have her Elvis. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, if there was no Lisa, the whole story would have been different. I think I see what you mean. Elvis's heart was with Lisa, 100%. I respectfully disagree. Accepting a gift is one thing. Spending freely on a credit card is enough. Not when it comes to Elvis. Not when it comes to Elvis. Elvis was giving people credit cards. It was a common thing. It was completely normal for Elvis. A very, very wealthy man. Yeah? He was just super generous. So I don't agree. I just don't agree. But guys, we've only got a minute, guys, because I'm going to come back to a part 2, okay? So please leave lots of comments because I'm going to read out your comment. Rebecca, it's so true. It's not for these. Right. With Elvis being ungenerous, they shouldn't have taken advantage because it wasn't necessary. Kate, I understand. But the point I'm trying to make is they didn't really have a choice. He was going to do what he wanted to do, wasn't he? So, but I get it. So, guys, I got to go. I'm going to come back for a part 2. Elvis loved Lisa so very much. She sure did. If Gladys was alive, things would be different. Well, I agree with that. Oh, hi, John. How are you? So, guys, we're going to come back. Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to make a coffee, and we're going to come back. And we're going to carry this on, okay? We are going to spend the whole day talking about Linda. I want to hear both points of view. Both. I want to hear the good and the bad. Yeah. No matter how negative it is, I want to hear it. No matter how good it is, I want to hear it. And we're going to carry on playing clips. So please don't take it personally if I disagree with you. I'm just a fan. Don't take it personally. This is just a discussion, a debate. It's okay if we disagree. Okay. So, right. 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. Thank you. And also thank you for all your comments. They're very, very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me. It means a lot to me. Your opinions are important to me.